In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent, thee do we worship, thine aid we seek. Show us the straight way of those whom have bestowed thy grace. The way of those whose portions is not a route and have gone out astray. Amen. I get a lot of brothers and sisters sometimes reach out to me and they seeking favor. What I mean by that is like maybe you done heard me speak on YouTube or speak in person, and you can kind of see that to a degree I'm knowledgeable. Not to mention, they call me Infinite. That man said, I ain't gonna say I don't know what to tell you, but there's so many different directions and different channels that one can go through to become enlightened. It's like that cipher, that circle. It, in the knowledge, we look at everything in degrees. You know what I'm saying? You can go, you're looking at that circle like a circumference, like through the circumference of the circle, those are different degrees, infinite degree, each leading to the center. That center can either be raised or lowered. That's where you get into ascension or descension. Ascension into your higher nature, higher self, or descension into your lower nature, lower self. I wanna first I wanna give some tools or some practices that y'all can get into. They can kind of soothe you into your depths or getting into your higher self or coming into your call. One, and I do practice a lot of these. Like one, you can get into sun gaze. If you like me wear glasses, I recommend like taking your glasses off. If you're familiar with the magnifying glass or the glasses in the sunlight with the ants, how we used to burn ants back in the day. Or and sun gazing pretty much for us people of color, melanin people, like that pineal gland, which is responsible for serotonin, melanin, well, serotonin, melatonin, which control our day and night cycle, is agent are produced from melanin, which is a secrete excrement that comes from our pineal gland, which sits up under our eyelid, our brow, that pretty much i.e. the brow chakra, and also i.e. the third eye, what they speaking of, the intuition. This organ is photosynthetic, meaning it feeds out energy from the sun, vitamin D. That's how we get our dark skin. That's how we rebel ultraviolet emission that come from the sun. We absorb energy from the sun. And sun gaze is a way of kind of directly consuming that energy to our pineal gland. I would recommend doing that like 15 to 20 seconds out of a day to practice sun gaze. Two would be like breathing. You know what I'm saying? It all started with the breath of life. Kind of stuff about like how we do it with smoking. Where you hold it in, it'll sit for a minute, breathe out. Kind of like you doing meditation when you smoking to a degree, but as far as like taking it even further, like from a Buddha approach, meditating, pretty much getting in your, I don't know what you call it, the fetal position, or crossing your legs or whatever Indian style, and start like breathing, like take a deep breath, hold it for like 10 or 15 seconds, then release and do it again. But it continue to increase it by 5 seconds. So next time you holding it 20 seconds, next time you holding it 30, so forth and so on till you get to that burn. Like you gonna feel the burn. It ain't gonna feel like you passing out, but you gonna feel your chest on fire to a degree. So it's like that number right there, the way you stop it, you continue to kind of stretch that muscle to a degree. And these are two different technique that I use, you know what I'm saying, when we talking about strengthening that spirit. They get back into the seeking though. A lot of one ask me like, what should I be reading or what should I get into? Like me personally, I'm a firm believer, like we all are different. We all like that snowflake. We all got our different paths, our different walk. Like I say, get into anything that accommodates your belief, your structure. So if you like music or whatever you do music, kind of complement your knowledge around that arena. That way, what you doing, what you reading, and all that'll be in complete harmony, and it'll kind of come out into your skill. Also, no, but Drew Ali said it best. Like one of the students asked him, like, after we done got knowledge of self, so forth and so on, what we supposed to do, and then what? It was like continue to study yourself, like keep doing that, rinse and repeat, like keep learning about yourself. It's more to self than just history, more to self than just the nature of self, and more to self than the functioning of self. Like man, so many, like even when you take our body, man, you got the circulatory system, which is how our blood moves through the body with our nerves and stuff. You got a respiratory system, that's our breath. You got your endocrine system, like pretty much our skin. You got your, I can't even remember all of them, but it's a couple. I think it's at least 7. You know what I'm saying? But these are involuntary action. We don't control that. Like our body is a perfect machine, but we continue to feed it these bad food, feeding it these bad habits, feeding these bad nuances and so forth and so on. And we continue to tell our body that. But the ultimate goal, a lot of times we think about walking on water and moving things with our mind. We think about higher levels of consciousness. But I'm finding out, like I'm deep. My name ain't just Infinite for a reason. When I'm finding out and where I'm at in my path, the more conscious you become, the more at one with the universe you become. The more at one with the universe you be. What I mean by that, it's like it's like you begin to feel like how the earth feel in the sense of you begin to pull from a universal thought of mind, universal consciousness, a universal law and principle. You begin to see beyond the duality. You begin to get into the God stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talking about in there right here. Good orderly direction. A lot of times we seeking, but to be honest with you, I kind of grew up with church principle, Christian principle, but I went further outside of the church. But the more knowledge that I done gained and achieved, it kind of brought me to church, but to my own understanding. And it brought me back to I can see where we at right now. And I kind of relate to I find myself being that prodigal son, like the one that returned. That's how, when I look at it, even when I analyze myself, I'm coming back to Christ, so to speak. So that's what we doing. We seeking, you know what I'm saying? We getting that, we seeking God, good orderly direction. How we supposed to live out our lives, how we supposed to do for the rest of our day. And when we do get knowledge, man, it's a gift and a curse, family, because the more you know, the more conscious you are of being accountable. The more you know, the more responsibility that gotta be in play. The more you know what I'm saying? There's a lot come with it. To whom much is given, much is expected, much is required. It's good to be ignorant. Like that guy in the Matrix movie when he was like, man, he was eating that steak. He was like, I just wanna that taste good right there. But I know it ain't steak because I'd have been out of Matrix alone. But I wanna go back to being where my mind know that was steak. How my mind can feel like it was steak. That's where we at right now. Like the more higher you vibrate, the more responsible and disciplined that you become. Like it's a force in itself that force you to move, and it's that mobilize you. So I can see in the awakening, like in the more depths we get into and our understanding, the more awake, the more diligent we become. And if a person ain't mobilizing on that aspect, if a person trying to enslave you to their will, they don't serve the Most High, they serving the devil. Anybody that trying to enslave you on their doctrine or get you under their power, they trying to turn you into a devil, a follower. And we ain't about that over on God's side, on the righteous side. We all about building the leaders of the ones with the same vision. Like minds, you know what I'm saying, law of attraction. But I just want to touch on y'all, touch base with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Happy Holy Divine Day, Nagu Salam, you know what I'm saying? Walaikum Salam, palms extended to the bottom. Lord Infinite.